All right, well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It is a beautiful Thursday morning. Today is September 25th, 2025. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Here on the shared screen, we have our landing page. All of you should have a landing page. If you do not have a landing page, please text us and we need to resolve that. As we've talked about on prior trainings, which are up on the YouTube channel, the landing page is a great resource. It's a place to funnel your prospects to. And then once they come into that channel, now they're locked to you. So if they should also become a distribution partner, you get the overrides. You're getting paid the back end commission off the capital raise. It has the drip marketing to help continue to prompt them, to remind them, to educate them, to nudge them forward. It builds in the e-contract so you don't have to go send a contract to them. A number of you love waking up in the morning, checking your email, and seeing how many signed contracts you had the night before. Amanda's here, and I think, Amanda, would you have three or four this morning? So, wouldn't it be great to let technology lighten your load where you wake up in the morning, check your email, and see how many new contracts you have, and all you need to do is invoice them. But regardless, so we have the landing page here in the background. Our website's 509 Pacific. You can go to guaranteedfunding.org. It takes you to this page, by the way. Our tech support line, 903-347-8042. YouTube channel has prior trainings. If you need to schedule a call, here you go. Mark wanted Bruce Springsteen. We covered that. So our organization is a 501c3 nonprofit. We've applied for and received a grant. The grant have three mandates, as we've discussed ad nauseum. We help improve financial literacy. We provide free shelf corps, and then we use that knowledge and that entity to go raise capital. And we guarantee. So it's very unusual. Our model is unique in a number of aspects, one of which is you can be a distribution partner, make a lot of money, and have no cost, no investment. And then, secondly, from the client's perspective, other than paying the processing fee to get the shelf corp, which is set by each of you, how much the processing fee is, other than that, everything else should be self-sustained through the capital raise. But regardless, today's topic is specifically making sure that we're all clear that there are three ways that we can collaborate, three models. And so I want to break those down. And then I guess the underlying goal is to make sure everyone is in the right role. Because I think you'll be happier and probably more successful if you're in the right role. So if you're not in the right role, then we can fix that. It's not a problem. So let's start with the simplest, the easiest first. So we have recently relaunched our affiliate program. Our affiliate program is crazy simple. All you would do is refer someone to guaranteedfunding.org, which takes them right here. They fill out their first name, last name, their mobile number, email. They put your name here. Now, a trick, what's even better for them than putting your name is to put your email. Because, like Carl Brown, we now have two or three Carl Browns in our system. Some people have common names. But regardless, we just need to identify them back to you. They check the box, they submit it, and then now they're in the queue and you have nothing else to do. And that's what Kenneth and a number of you have said you really like. Some of you are busy, you don't have time to learn the program. You're a dabbler, and I don't mean that negative. It's just, as occurrence comes up, you're to refer someone. And that's all that affiliates have to do. They don't have to buy anything. They don't have to pay anything. They don't have to be a client. Just simply, as long as you're in our system, and then you use the standard landing page, which is depicted here, make sure they refer you, and bam, you get paid. So the affiliate role is crazy simple. Anyone have questions on the affiliate role? We'll spend the least amount of time talking about it because it's crazy simple. All right, I see Charlie's asking what's the comp, and that's true. I should have put that on there. So what is the compensation? It's $100 per conversion. So does it get rich quick? No. I mean, you should have what 15 minutes at most invested, probably much less. So if you monetize that or extrapolated that, I meant to say over an hour, you're making the equivalent of what, $400 an hour. But regardless, affiliate programs are designed to be simple. This is simple as it gets. So we'll see how this goes. And if we need to build a more robust, more sophisticated affiliate program, we can. In the past, we had a really big affiliate program. We had over 10,000 affiliates at our peak. But it's all about being in the right role. So do affiliates need to be trained and supported? Really not. They just need to know enough. Really, what's on the page is about all they need to know, and just get people to fill this out. All right, I see Joseph's asking, as an affiliate, can he fill this out and put other people in? Well, theoretically, you could, but it won't work. And the reason it won't work is that once the prospect fills out this page and hits the request information, it's going to send them a text immediately to opt in so we can communicate with them. So it's legal, it's not spamming them. Well, Joseph, if you or anyone else just went and filled this out for someone, they're going to all of a sudden get a text and they probably won't opt into it because they don't know what the hell it's about. So you could be with them, you could be on the phone with them, you could be in person, you could walk them through it. But in general, the best bet is for them to complete it because they're going to get a response immediately that they need to opt into. Any other questions on the affiliate program? Crazy simple. All right, so secondly, we have the reseller program, and we have more folks as resellers than the other two combined at the moment. But I believe by the time we get to the end of 2025, we're going to move a lot of these resellers either up or down into a better role. But regardless, the reseller program also costs nothing, so we can go ahead and put that on there. Cost is zero. To be a reseller, cost is also zero. You just go onto our website, 509 Pacific, or you can go on to guaranteed funding and fill this out. But the bottom line is we just simply need to know that you want to be a reseller. The reseller is more involved. The reseller is going to get for free an implementation packet that has about 5 to 6 hours of prep training. So yeah, they really need to put that time into it. An affiliate needs to put zero time into it. A reseller, in addition to that 5 to 6 hours of free training, they're going to receive a packet of 3 editable documents: an editable contract, an editable flyer, and an editable, what we call, comparison sheet. So normally they would edit those 3, they would put it into Adobe or they'd put it into DocuSign, whatever e-signature. It's under their branding, so they're going out to the marketplace with their pricing, their branding, so they control how much they're paid. So we'll go to the compensation as well. So there are 2 levels of compensation for resellers. The first is the shelf processing fee. And I made reference to that, I think, when I was up here. So it's whatever the reseller wants to charge. Oops. So I don't know what it will be because it's up to the reseller. Anything above $499.99 is their profit. So some resellers don't mark it up for whatever reason. Some mark it up a little, some mark it up a lot, but that's up to the reseller. And then the second is they can earn a 5% performance fee and also a 5% override fee. So let's explain that with a couple asterisks here. So we have what we call the Reseller Marketing Program, RMP. Well, I'll spell it out. Reseller Marketing Program, RMP. It's optional. Don't have to do it. But we're kind of looking at it here with a backdrop. So that's where we're providing a landing page, the drip marketing. It's all branded to the resellers. It's not generic. So it's the customization and the automation, and then by using that tool, the resellers' clients are coming through their landing page, so everything is automated, and that allows us to pay out two levels of commission. So essentially, what we have is we have clients that are going to pay a 10% performance fee for their capital raise, and we pay out all 10% of that. 5% of that is paid to the reseller who brought the client in, and we're not MLM or network marketing, but whomever brought that reseller in, as long as they're also using the RMP, gets a 5% override. But the RMP is important for us to be able to facilitate this. Otherwise, it would be a lot of manual calculations. So we don't want that. So reseller is free. Reseller is free. The RMP just has a refundable deposit, and that refundable deposit is refunded once you have one conversion. So it's a very low threshold. So this is optional. We'll put that optional for resellers. So anyone have questions so far on affiliates or resellers? All right, Brian's asking a good question. So, this is the compensation for affiliates. This is it. It's the total amount. So, is it reasonable? Is it attractive for an affiliate program? Yeah, I think so. I think if you look around, I think it's a good payout. Resellers, of course, make a lot more. They could make hundreds or thousands of dollars on the front end. And then our average capital raise now is right about $1 million. To some of you, again, I know it doesn't matter much, but 5% of $1 million is 50,000 per client. So that's a bigger deal. For resellers, we really don't want dabblers because there's time and effort that's put into getting resellers up to being proficient. So there are technically no production goals to be a reseller, but if you're not going to really get engaged, you might be best to simply be an affiliate. But regardless. All right, so from that, let's go down to the branch office role. And we have a promotion that goes through September. So let's go ahead and put that on here because we only have a few more days. And so we need to make sure that if you're going to take advantage of this promotion, now is kind of the time. So there is a cost normally. It's waived this month through the promotion, but normally there's a $10,000 license fee. You might say, well, why is that? Well, because there's a lot more training. The way that a branch office operates, they actually handle all communication with the client. We literally don't, we do the back office work, but we don't do any of the client communication. So that gives the branch office not only that private label, that white label benefit of being a reseller, but they also control the entire client experience. They have a physical office in their community. They're trained and supported in working with local distribution partners. So it's like banks and so forth. So it's a much more sophisticated, involved role. So normally, I guess we'll put normally there is a $10,000 license fee. But there is the September promotion, which of course is about over, but let's go ahead and discuss it. So with the September promotion, let's write it out. September promotion, what it does is it waives the license fee. To qualify, you must, I guess, walk the walk. In other words, we want you to have a personal testimony of it, which would mean specifically that you would get a shelf core. You can buy it from yourself and get paid your own commission if you want. That doesn't matter. But we want you to have a shelf core, and then we want to go through the ABL. So ABL is a short acronym for asset-based lending. We've had other trainings on that. If you're not familiar with it, please go back to the YouTube channel. But these are essentially, it's not a whole lot you have to do, but you need to be committed to being a personal success story if you're going to be out there in your community running an office. We don't want people that are insecure or uncertain or uncommitted running branch offices. So how do we confirm that? Well, we don't really want them to pay us money. So instead of them paying us money, we want them to go through the process themselves. So that's the deal. Anyone have questions on the September promotion? Anyone have questions on the September promotion? All right, so Christy has specific. So what has to be, she's asking, which is a good question, what has to be done in September? Because we're recording this on the 25th. We have less than a week left. So that's a great point. So we would need to get a shelf corp, have it by the end of September, and you can get it from yourself, so you're paid commission, which is fine. And then you need to participate in the ABL. I don't think that there's enough time to get funded from the ABL, but that's not a prerequisite. So let's go ahead and say enrolled participating in ABL. So again, if asset-based lending is foreign to you, that's not the topic today, but we have great training, several trainings on that on our YouTube channel. So yes, we would love to have you as a branch office after on October 1st and after. You would have a significant license fee. It's still well worth it, but it's an expense that you could avoid if you want to take advantage of the promotion, which is specifically for September. I guess we better add this because these YouTube's videos stay up for a while. It's just for this month. So who has any questions about any of this? And then I do see Lamy has a question that is unrelated, which I'm going to get to, but it's unrelated. So I want to make sure that we all are familiar. Okay, so Joseph's asking how to get plugged in. Well, you're going to want to go to 509 Pacific. I can go ahead and bring it up for us. Let's bring up our website, 509pacific.org. And if you're interested in being a distribution partner, so there's like 3 sections to the page. The quick cash, which is not the topic today. The middle section is about the grant getting funding, not really the direct topic today. And then the bottom section is about being a distribution partner. There's some training videos that they would like you to watch. And we talked about ABL. There's actually a training on ABL on the homepage here. And then you, Joseph, you would fill this out and let us know. Now you'll notice it no longer asks, do you want to run a branch office? Because once we get through September and finish up this promotion, we probably won't allow anyone else to come in directly as a branch. We're going to have them come in and kind of prove themselves first, but we don't want to move the cheese. We don't want to change the proposition for those of you that heard otherwise. So through September, you can come in and directly be a branch office, and you can fill this out. Well, you can fill this out or you can text us, but you'll notice there is no branch offer. We're asking, do you want to be an affiliate or do you want to be a reseller? But yes, you can participate in the branch promotion through the end of this month. All right, so there are some other questions that I'm going to get to if we can just confirm that we all have a pretty good understanding. So all 3 roles are great. I guess technically right now all 3 are free, but normally 2 are free. The branch office is not free. It includes face-to-face training, higher level support, a lot more training because branch offices really need to be trained from beginning to end. Affiliates, I would argue, really don't need to be trained at all. They just need to know how to refer people over into their landing page or into the landing page. And then resellers are involved with getting the shelf corp into the hands of clients, but they're not involved with the funding portion, whereby the branch office is involved with the entire gamut. So let me scroll down here and get to these other topics, and it kind of ties in that a couple of you have asked. So let's revisit the two phases. So there are two phases of implementation, we'll say. So once the client completes the paperwork to get one of the free shelf corps, and again, there's a processing fee. The amount of the processing fee is determined by the referral partner. But once they have signed that, then we're going to deliver a shelf corp, and that's going to normally be within 7 days. So that's phase one. So once, if you're an affiliate, again, all you do is refer them in here, don't do anything else. As a reseller, you're actually getting them signed up and signing a contract, which is your contract because you're using the editable template. But first phase is delivering, we do the work, we deliver the shelf corp within 7 days. Now, when we deliver that shelf corp, then, and I'll just make a little symbol here, then we transition into the funding phase. So what that means is that with the deliverables of the Shelf Corp, it will include an application. And that application is a simple one-page, no docs required, to self-reported information, no hard inquiries. But with that, we can get them their first tranche, their first round of funding. And that's typically designed for, just some initial working seed capital. And it should normally provide them enough that they have enough working capital or seed capital to carry them through the rest of the way through the process without having any other out-of-pocket expense. So Lamy's question he asked at the top of the Zoom is, well, for this, and so I guess we'll go ahead and put that down. So we'll say 1A is client completes one-page application for first tranche funding. So again, that application comes in the same email that we're delivering the Shelf Corp deliverables. I've had many, many people say, well, I never got that application. Well, did you get your Shelf Corp deliverables? Well, yeah, it's actually on there. It's highlighted in yellow. So with that first tranche, we have to realize that not yet is the Shelf Corp ready for a large capital raise. There's additional work that needs to be done, and I'll describe that in a moment when we get to number two, the second phase. So the first phase is more kind of baseline. What does the client qualify for now versus after we've gotten the Shelf Corp ready? Different people will get different offers. We've had success stories. They're up on the YouTube channel. We've had people get over 500,000 in first tranche, but frankly, that's unusual. Most people will get multiple cash offers. They can accept the ones they want. They don't have to take any they don't want. And those are short term. We're using those just in the interim until we get the business funding. So Lamy's question is, well, what does it take to qualify for funding through the first tranche? Well, everyone gets at least one offer, everyone. So no one's turned down. But as far as how many offers they get and how large they are and the terms, it's based upon their application and the underwriting. We have about 40 different lenders that are very anxious to fund clients for the first tranche. So now let's go down to the second phase. And the second phase is what we're going to call the true funding phase. So what happens there, if I can get this correct. So then we're going to build the loan package, which I'll describe in a moment, and then we're going to apply for the large business funding. So the very first thing that we do in phase two is we're going to work with a client to determine how much capital they're looking for and what their use of funds are. So that makes a big difference. Do they want 100,000? Do they want 100 million? Are they going to use it to acquire businesses or acquire real estate or expand their business, start a business? That all matters to the funding formula. So the loan package, we first figure out where they're wanting to go, what their goals are, and then we support them in building legally and ethically building the documentation for that. So with all that being said, then we go apply for the large funding. So hopefully that put it in perspective. Brian has a question regarding the Shelf Corp. And with the Shelf Corp, we provide, and I know everyone has different opinions, but we provide a C Corp. So a C Corp is, we believe, the best structure for these types of capital raises. And that's what we do. We do it our way because we're the ones on the hook. We're the ones guaranteeing funding for the clients. So that was Brian's question, is how's this structured? If they want something else, we can discuss it with them, but I don't know that we can keep our guarantee. So we have a recipe. We know the client's the client, of course, but we have a recipe, a formula that we know it'll work. And if the client follows it and participates, it'll work. It'll work. We guarantee that they're going to get funding. Now, with that, if they want to start making changes to the integral elements, again, they're the client, but it may void the guarantee because if they start mucking things up. For instance, we provide a free commercial address with the Shelf Corps. Free to them now, free to them forever. They just pay the mail forwarding. Free address. But we still have some people say, oh no, I don't want to use that free address that's optimized. I want to use my other address. So now all of a sudden we're going down a rabbit hole. What are the questions? What are the issues? Is it going to work? So we encourage clients to follow the model. And if they follow the model, we know it'll work. But at the same time, we know clients are clients and they're the ones paying the bills. So we need to do what makes them happy. All right. So let's kind of summarize here as we're running out of time. So we've talked about in the background the landing page. Everyone should have your landing page. If you don't, I encourage you to get one. You don't have to. If you're an affiliate, frankly, you already have a landing page. This is it. theguaranteedfunding.org, which takes you to this page. You've already got your landing page if you're an affiliate. You don't need to do anything else. Spread the word, help people sign up, have them put in your name or email here, you get credit. Super simple. As a reseller, we need to get you set up as a reseller. Didn't cost anything. Come to 509 Pacific, fill this out. Let us know that you want to be a reseller. We'll send you the implementation packet, which will include the editable forms. And then you modify those if you want, or you can have us take care of that for you, which is called the RMP. The RMP would provide you a landing page that looks similar to this, but it's customized to you, personalized to you. We build out the contract per your pricing, and the drip marketing is pointed everything back to you. So that's the reseller. The branch office is the most advanced. We're going to get really tight and limited who we allow to have a branch office as of October 1st, but we do want to finish September as we promised. So anyone right now can get a branch office. That won't be the case here in a week. But if you want a branch office, you want to waive the license fee, we just want you to be a personal success story. Because I know I've gone through the process and I encourage you too. So what does that mean? Well, we bought commercial real estate through the program. I'm standing in my office. I have one of the stand-up desks. I'm standing right now. So we bought commercial real estate through the program. So do I know it works? Of course it does. We've bought multiple company cars, including this one right here. It's in my garage. I just drove it to work this morning. So we bought multiple company cars through the program, got multiple credit cards. We've gotten an SBA loan for working cap. So I know it works. And so no one can ever tell me, oh, this doesn't work, because I know it works. I've gone through it. I need you to have that same level of confidence. And instead of just telling you that it works, I'd rather you go through it. And so as long as you get a shelf quote, which again, you can sell yourself and get paid commission off of, use the ABL program, which we made reference to a couple of times, then we can waive the license fee. Any other questions, comments, concerns? We ran a minute over. All right, Abner asked, and Abner, welcome aboard. So Abner, yesterday, he just kind of plugged in. So he's been a reseller for a bit. We're working on his RMP as of today. And so he'll, I'm sure, be one of our top producers in October. But let's go with his question. So his question is, if we start with a shelf corp and want a credit sweep. Okay, so regarding credit sweep, so credit sweep is a free resource that we provide to clients that allows our legal team to help them remove derogatory and add positive credit. So we, if you want to take advantage of the promotion, we need to have you signed up for everything, but we don't have to have been funded by the end of the month. Hopefully that makes sense. Joseph asked a good question about the branch offices. So with the branch office, it would make a lot of sense to still use a landing page and the RMP, but no, you don't have to. So as a reseller, you don't have to use RMP. As a branch office, you don't have to use RMP. But rather than reinventing the wheel, I would encourage you to. But any other questions, just text us individually, 903-347-8042. Have a great day. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.